Alright, so I'm getting ready to jelly print this evening, and the first thing I did is I gathered some papers, and some of the things that I like to print on for different purposes. So when I want to put something on a canvas and I want it to disappear or get translucent, I like to print on the napkins, and all I do is pull off the backings that you typically would throw away, and I found that I can actually print on them and get pretty good results. And then when I use them on the canvas, they go translucent. I actually like it better than deli paper because the deli paper doesn't go as translucent. The other thing that I like to do is pull out papers that might just have some little leftover bits, score pads from a game, pieces of map, just interesting papers. This was one that I did my brayer on with a blue-black, and I'll probably add a layer on top of that. This was another paper that I did my brayer on, and I try to kind of keep the same colors on my brayer on one piece and then flip it and do another piece so that it's harmonious. And then you can see on this one I put some stencils down, brayers, but kind of all in the same color family. Now I'll probably put a pop in a contrasting color now that this is dry. If I want to collage, I used to like the thin copy paper if I want to just collage. But if I want to make an abstract piece and the jelly print is going to be the base, then I like the heavier cardstock. But I don't really like to collage with this a whole lot. I have some deli paper and I have some music paper. And then I like to use this lightweight newsprint or some of this map to roll off on, and then I'll use it later when I'm jelly printing. So those are the papers I'm going to kind of set to the side. I think I'm going to start by adding some color to those and the maps. And then I'm just going to keep some of this little stuff to the side whenever I have. And I'm definitely going to do some more napkins today. Alright, so on that red, I think I want a little pops of turquoise, maybe some green. And I'm going to use a little turquoise, and then I'm going to use some Golden's slow drying. And the other thing I want to try today is I want to try some float medium to see if I get a little bit more open time. And I'm using some new stencils that I just cut with my silhouette. And I'm also going to use some stamps. I will tell you, I just cleaned my plate, so I noticed that a lot of it is puddling up, which I actually don't mind. kind of interesting. Probably would cut it and just use this square here. And I think that I'm going to use this napkin that already had a little bit of copper on it from a previous pull and pick up the main thing you have to be careful when you use the napkins is that you're pulling more gently. You can leave them in the double layers, but I found that they actually print pretty well. That one's pretty light where the copper was. That just gives it a little bit more detail. Alright, I'm going to let that blue sit on there. And I think I'm going to go with a green on the next one. Sometimes when these craft paints sit too long, they really start to separate. Oh, way too much paint. I'm just going to use my palette knife. Pick some of that back up. Just a little bit of this light green. Go a little more organic since I'm using the greens. I'm going to add that to on top of this one. It's not bad. It's real pretty over here where the green and the copper are. I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of a cleanup. With white. think I'll add just a little bit of the flow medium. And I'm going to pick that up on a piece of the heavier white cardstock. Man, too much white paint. Got some of it. Let that dry. And grab another piece and see if I can't. Pull a little bit more. If not, I'll try a napkin. That might work. Oh no, that actually is pulling pretty good. Just had too much white paint on that first one. It came out really pretty. It's real faint. Might be hard to see. A lot of those blues and greens. Be a pretty background for something. Alright, I think I'm going to use some coral. I'll stick this. And I'm going to do this on one of the napkins. Now this is a double layer of napkin, so it'll start to separate. And I'll still be able to use that napkin. think what I'll do is let that dry up just a little bit. I think I'll put this just on top of some map. I find that the thinner papers help remove more of the paint, but if you wait too long or it's too dry, so I'm going to do another cleanup kind of. I'm going to use a PBO green and a little bit of this green from earlier that I had. And I'm going to pick that up on a piece of just plain white copy paper. That turned out really pretty. You can see that coral, the shimmer from the PBO. I'm going to do some teal. This blue in there again. This big flower. And then I'm gonna do this a little different. I'm gonna put this side of the napkin over here. So that's really where I want that blue. And then I think I want to come over here and get the rest of it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure I totally like it. May need another layer added to it. I'm just going to let that dry. And go. With a little bit of a red. I'm going to go on the paper napkin again. Let's see if I can't get that red and some of that turquoise up. Yeah, it's pretty subtle. But when you look up close, you can see some of that turquoise. And I think what I'll do is put a pop of blue-black PBO on there a little bit later. Try some of the yellow golden open acrylic. This is usually real translucent. And I still should pick up some of that red. These pieces of copy paper. It's pretty interesting there. Got all really cleaned it up well. Alright, now I have a project in mind with a giraffe. So I want to do something with a turquoises, dark turquoise. I'm also going to add some of that blue-green PBO to give it a little shimmer. It's all about, it's got to be all about circles this time. Maybe even this hexagon down the middle, actually. The circles over here. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted that yellow with the green on it. Alright, so let me set that aside. I think this might be interesting just on a sheet. Yeah, that's real pretty because you can still see the music, the title. It's got a little shimmer, so it'd be a great background to add a piece on top of. Alright, I found what I needed. I have an outline of a giraffe. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add black to the plate and blue-black PBO. And I'm going to do what I call a blackout. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to black out everything on the jelly print except for what's under the mask. So I'm going to lay my giraffe down. And I'm going to use this print right here. What that's going to do is it's going to cover the jelly print that I'd done earlier in my pull with black, covering it up. However, where I have the mask, we'll show the bright colors. You'll see just a little bit of the turquoise showing through in some of the dots. Alright, and then I think what I'm going to do is I should have a fairly decent giraffe print right there. And this is what I've been rolling my brayer on this evening, the map. So I'm going to put him on top of those bright colors as a background of this map. That came out pretty good. And then later on what I might do is like stamp something down the side, add a little saying, something just to kind of brighten it up. I'm going to go with something light because I want to pick up some of that stuff. So I'm just going to go with the spa blue. And I think I'm going to just use a bunch of stamps in this. And I think I'm actually going to put it on top of where I'd rolled my brayer with some black on a piece of cardstock a while back. Basically just would have been a piece of paper I would have thrown away. And that's what I like about the Gelli plates. Just playing and seeing and trying different things. Sometimes you like it, sometimes you don't. I didn't get much, but I can definitely add something on top of that once it's dry. I got some texture. I'm going to go back to this kind of coral color. Can't say that the stamps I like a whole lot. I think I prefer them just for stamp. Really like using the stencils a lot more. I didn't add very much paint to that at all. I think I'm going to go on this map again and see if I can't get a little more this time than I did last time. Yeah, it gave me a pretty good base. Picked up some of that black. Still can see the details of the map. So I think I'll alright, so this needs something on top of it. And I'm thinking some blue-green PBO, some maybe some turquoise mixed in with it. Go with Actually, I'm going to go back to my circle mask. And I just cut these using dividers. I think that's enough. Yeah, came out pretty cool. Take the circles off. And I think I'll put these rings and circles on the map that had the coral on it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like. It's got the shimmers. It may need some black stamped in it. Alright, now we need to figure out what we need to do to this. And I almost think some blue-black. PBO. Did a letter stencil, which I think I'll use. Make sure you put it backwards. And then I have a number stencil. I think I'll go with this napkin and lift off the blue, most of the blue black. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think that's a little more interesting with that pop. Pull that off. don't know. We're going to see. May not be dark enough to show up or wet enough. Well, actually, came out real pretty. It's real subtle. Be a real pretty background with something. Kind of a grungy look. I'm going to use some of the reddish magenta because there's still quite a bit on my plate. And then I'm just going to pick it up on some of these game sheets. Strips of white. I'm just going to put a piece of copy paper that's got some other stuff on it. Just keep my hands clean. It's a pretty background color. I just need something added to it. I think I'm going to try something. I think I'm going to try to do a little blackout on those. But I don't think I'm going to use any PBO. I think I'm just going to use black. And I have these butterflies I cut. I'm going to use as a mask. That one there. This one right next to it. And then I think I'll put this hexagon here. Put this back over the hexagon. Use my same piece of paper. That came out kind of pretty. add this just along here. Yeah. Well, I didn't take that anywhere. Needed to go. And I'm going to use this paper towel to try to get some of the more black up. There's still quite a bit of black between these butterflies. Take those butterflies off. I think I'm going to add the black butterflies. To this napkin. Actually kind of came out kind of cool. And there's a little bit of a black butterfly there still. White and do a cleanup. Not for the print so much as I'll just get some texture going on a piece of paper with little bits of that black. Add interest. Yeah, it's kind of a good start to maybe a black and white, maybe a pop of red or peach on it. And I think, let's see if I can't lighten up that a little bit. lightened it a little bit.
Yellow.
And I'm doing several layers of the rings, I think. This is a real translucent property. And it does real well when you want to create multiple layers. And I think I'm going to work on a piece of deli paper this time. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take the circles off. Turn the paper just a different way. Hit it again. Lift some more off. And then I'm going to go with the blue Goldens. Brayer still has quite a bit of yellow on it. Should get a kind of a real pretty green color. I'm going to go with the circles again. Same deli paper. You'll see I have some real pretty blues and greens going there. Alright, and then I think I'm going to take that off and add what's on it, if I'm lucky. To the top of this white with a little bit of black. Add it to it. Actually came out really pretty. that's it for tonight. I am going to clean this up. Let's kind of run through what I got done. So I got that kind of a cleanup print on top of a cleanup print. Got white circles on a turquoise. This one I think still needs something. Maybe stamping. Kind of a grunge background with the letters and the numbers. I got my blackout of the giraffe. I got my brayer sheet with the giraffe on it. Clean up on the music page. A real subtle cleanup print with the green. The deli paper with the circles in yellow. And the greens and the blue. Not sure I like this. It might be fine in a collage, especially if you maybe gessoed over it, but I do kind of like the butterflies. This definitely needs some more work. Might even just mean starting on the other side. This is a brayer paper that I had from my last session that I just added the turquoise. And again, I think what I'll really do, most likely, is just remove so now that it's cut down, just use that for scraps for something else. Have another brayer paper that needs some more layers on it. Could go to this other side too. Just a napkin that has some pretty texture on it, some shimmer. Another one that might need some more layers added to it. Not sure about this one. It needs pretty much maybe a cover up. It's one of my brayer sheets that I'll do something on next time. That's the brayer sheet I was working on for the last 3 or 4 pulls. That'll be pretty with something on it. Here's our little game. Sheets. May just cut the butterflies out and use the butterflies as they are. That's about it. Thanks for watching.